I guess it's just as well that be a part two because, going fucking 40 minutes, you know, that would definitely take forever. Um, let's see. So yeah, who would be at fault? Who who would pay the bills? I don't think Hamilton Township is going to step up to the plate, you know. So that's why I've had to add collision insurance to my insurance. Yes, I don't know if I told anybody this or if I covered it. I have insurance. I have bicycle insurance. Velo insurance, underwritten by Markle. It's one of the leaders in bicycle insurance, and I think they do bicycle and like ATVs and things like that. So they're like the Geico of bicycle insurance, you know. Let's see, what else? Yeah, dude. My bike isn't cheap. Because the bicycle insurance, it covers not only your bicycle but all of your kit, whatever you're wearing. The GoPros. That's like $1,500 worth of GoPros and their accessories. There's your helmet. There's this helmet. Pock. Pock. I just bought it from Bike Tires Direct. Costs $180. It mimics spinal fluid around the brain. Um, a purchase that I felt necessary now that I'm going to be riding in a highly risky fashion. Now that I've been forced to use turning lanes, very risky, very dangerous. Um, and yeah, I've had to add collision insurance. You know, most of the cars out there, they are just, average cars, but some of these cars can be extremely expensive. My insurance, I'm covered for 25,000. Well, it's 25,000 both ways. If I'm hit by a car, my medical bills are covered up to 25,000, but depending on how bad you've been fucked up, you could burn through that 25,000 just in the ER room, as they're stripping your ass and working on you frantically. Then again, they might just burn through 25,000 on the fucking ambulance, Who knows? So yeah, when it comes to, that kind of shit, it's not cheap, and so if I end up, because like I said, I'm in these turning lanes and cars are turning in front of me, if I end up damaging their passenger door, passenger fender, passenger rear view mirror, you know, I could be held responsible for that. So I need to have that kind of collision insurance on my insurance. I think last year it was $462. This year, because I've had to add on so much because of the added danger, $582 for 12 months of insurance. That's quite the increase because Judge Switzer has placed me in that much of an added danger. Speaking of danger, I do want to, because I want to be fair here to all parties involved. It is true. Uh, there is an inherent danger to cycling. There's an inherent danger to all forms of transportation. I don't care if you're in a Maserati, a limo, a Chevy Impala. if you're on a train, if you're on a Boeing 777, if you're on a luxury, cruise ship crossing the Atlantic, or if you're on a bicycle. There is inherent danger to all forms of travel. It really doesn't make a difference. Um, what what I was doing was trying to secure what the state of New Jersey outlines in its cycling manual. A means of protecting yourself while cycling when there is no shoulder. Um, the PDF, it's a pretty big PDF. It's like 5 MB or some shit like that. I can't. It's so big I can't even email it to anybody. I've tried. But if you wanna, just type in, Google New Jersey Cycling Manual. Just go to page 15. That's basically where page 15 to 21. That's basically where it covers everything in regards to lane control, when to use it, how to use it. Um, and of course, that's what brings in your next, awkwardness to the whole dynamic. How? Because this is what I presented to Sergeant Purr in court. I handed Sergeant Purr my court summons, and I gave him a line of questioning that brings to light that it is not he, Sergeant Purr, that versus me, Charles Dunbar, but it is the state of New Jersey that versus Charles Dunbar. And why was Charles Dunbar bicycling in said fashion? Why was Charles Dunbar using lane control? Oh, the state of New Jersey told him. State of New Jersey. So you have a scenario where the state of New Jersey is bringing charges against one of its citizens for piloting their vehicle in the exact fashion that the state of New Jersey tells them to, dictates them to do so. You see where I'm going with this, right? I get that they're saying that the manual is a manual and not a law. It still does not negate the fact that it is the state of New Jersey telling me to do it. You dig what I'm saying? They might have a leg to stand on if I, printed out somebody's blog online, somebody who threw together a how-to cycle guide online, printed it out and brought it to court. I could understand why, but this isn't just somebody. It's the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey is bringing charges against me for doing what the state of New Jersey told me to do. Don't look for logic. There isn't any. No logic. All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm in the process of vacating anyway. The cabins where I stay here, it's only for the summer. I'm only here for a few weeks, and then I'm back to, wherever. In the woods, freeway, underpass, overpass, whatever. I won't even say some of the more colorful choices that I've had to stay in last winter. Trust me, you haven't lived until you've been in a crack house. Yay. Oh boy. Ah. Life. Um, so I'm vacating. Oh, yeah, I guess that kind of was the whole purpose of where I was going with this whole video. Um, this is gonna kill me to do it. It really is going to fucking kill me to do it. But I've checked into the appeals process. The appeals process, I swear to God, the law, I got a strange feeling that it's not just simply isolated to New Jersey. The law is so fucked up. It costs money to appeal, a lot of money to appeal. And even if you win the appeal, you don't get the money back. Um, I know, this shit's so wrong. I'm gonna have to pay these fines. I'm gonna have to pay these fines, and it's gonna kill me to do so. Um, but I'm hoping that it will, I don't know, give me a measure of peace. Um, I still ride the roads, fines or no fines, in terror. Um, what can I tell you? You know, Other than the fact that I want every party responsible for my dread and my terror to be trampled under the wheels of an 18-wheeler, let them feel it. And they lied. They didn't even win fair and square. They had to lie and cheat to do it. All right, but yeah, that's basically the end to this thing. My PTSD, it just simply won't allow me to fight this battle. I suffer a lot from paralytic depression. A lot of paralytic depression. You probably don't even know what I mean when I say that. You know, you wake, you're up. It's like, oh my God, it's like fucking 3 in the morning right now, and I'm gonna be up for a while yet more. You drift off at 7, wake up at 10, and you just sit there. You can't get your mind together. You can't get anything together. And no, it's not a hangover. Trust me, it's not a hangover. This silly little shit. This isn't anything now. I don't fuck with hard shit, and I damn sure don't do drugs. But it's a paralytic depression. You cannot move. You're just there. And it's definitely been made exponentially worse knowing that Hamilton Township, Egg Harbor Township are just licking their chops, taking great delight, no doubt, in their ill-got gain. Great delight. But yeah, so I'm headed out into winter, the cold void, homeless. I don't know. I got arrested for my mental illness episode where I wanted to kill myself in front of the State House in New Jersey with Trenton. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Trenton and maybe I'll just simply sit there on the cold concrete and just freeze to death. You know, um, there are so many wrongs, just so many wrongs. It's why, I really can't get into the psychological lexicon of every mass shooter out there. I really can't. You can't just simply lump some of them all together. But I will say this: life isn't pleasant. Life is very fucking miserable. it's like, and have you when you try to articulate it to other people, the first thing out of their mouth is, "Oh, well, over in Somalia, over in Africa." Well, put a pin in that. Don't you ever find it strange that you have to go outside of the country to a fucking shithole, desolate third world country to find worse? Just saying. Just saying. But life in America, it's not good. It just simply isn't fucking good. Not for everybody, whoop-de-doo for Judge Switzer and his goddamn Norman Rockwell painting of an existence. Good for you. But not everybody has that, okay? Not everybody is retired. Not everybody gets to put their bicycle on the back of a $30,000-$40,000 vehicle and drive it to a lovely, leisurely bike path. Not everybody has that. And more to the point, not everybody wants it. I don't want a car of any kind. Thank you very much. So, life is shit. And it is seeping to the surface in the form of these mass shootings. That's just my 2 cents. What can I say? Paying these fines will definitely bring a measure of mental illness, more scars. More scars. More scars. And the more scars society accumulates, the more mass shootings. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But considering all the money that it costs to get a measure of justice, what did the Joker say in The Dark Knight? Bullets, guns, and gasoline. Especially now. The shit is cheap. The government, it isn't constructed for the poor man. But you know what is constructed for the poor man? Terrorism. You force us. You make us. And then you boo-hoo and you sob when it happens.